And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Okay, we've got a high wind warning out for St. Lawrence Island and the Bering Strait coast until midnight tonight for north winds gusting to 65 miles per hour. And then here on the north side of the Seward Peninsula, Shishmaref, there's a high surf advisory out for high surf and possible minor beach erosion there for tonight into tomorrow. And in the interior here, this is all the red areas here are for a winter storm warning, and that's out for tonight through Thursday, probably into Thursday night as well, especially over here in the more eastern areas. And that's for, let's see, looking for 4 to 11 inches of snow to fall in these areas during that time frame. And then here for the Alaska Range, especially the eastern Alaska Range, that's a high wind warning out for winds gusting to 65 miles an hour out of the south and southeast. And then there's a winter weather advisory out for the Susitna Valley, and that's through Friday for, let's see, 10 to 25 inches of snow to fall, heaviest north of Talkeetna. And there's still more. Winter storm warning out here for the actually northern Klondike Highway up around Skagway there, and looking for some heavy snow in that area, 6 to 8 inches of snow with winds gusting to 40 miles an hour, and that'll create low visibilities in blowing snow in that area. And again, that's for the Klondike Highway, especially up toward the pass, so you can see anywhere from 6 to 8 inches of snow, or actually Skagway 2 to 3 inches up toward White Pass, 6 to 8 inches of snow expected there, with lighter amounts down toward Haines. And now satellite imagery, got storminess coming into the southwest interior here, right across the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta, low pressure ahead of that up front, rain moving into the North Gulf Coast, into the Panhandle today, and rain and snow, gusty winds across south central Alaska, and very strong northerly winds here, gusting upwards of 35 to 50 miles an hour across the Pribilos, back up towards St. Lawrence Island. Colder air pouring out of the Russian Far East here into the Bering Sea that'll eventually be shifting eastward here, following the backside of this low coming in later tomorrow and tomorrow night. And on the chart today, you can see strongest low here along the southwest coast, tracking eastward here. And a new development as that front came across the Aleutian Range, Kodiak Island, new development formed on that. And that brought some gusty winds and rain up to the North Gulf Coast, spreading into the Panhandle this afternoon. Quite an area of snow over the interior here, mostly snow. Actually pretty light here north of the Alaska Range. Amounts were anywhere from non-existent to very light, heaviest back here to the west and to the south. And again, for tonight, we'll see this low continues to track eastward. Winter storm warnings out here for much of the central interior. High wind warning continues again until midnight, St. Lawrence Island, up to the Bering Strait coast. And the stronger winds shifting eastward, northwesterlies maybe gusting 35 to possibly as high as 50 miles an hour here coming into the Alaska Peninsula. And pretty windy conditions also for the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta there as well, with falling temperatures and rain and snow across southern Alaska. Heavier rain and snow and wind into the Panhandle, with the snow, of course, at the higher elevations there. And cold air pushing southward across the Bering Sea and all moving eastward. And for tomorrow, this low continues to weaken and track slowly eastward there right into the mid-Tanana Valley areas. And winds coming down the windy area here, not as windy as it moves inland here, but still pretty breezy up through here. And snow heavy at times over the interior there, with the winter storm warnings out there. And winter weather advisories to Susitna Valley for heavy snow there. Snow and rain with colder temperatures, snowfall levels a little lower now, but winds not nearly as strong as the 43 mile per hour wind gusts recorded at Anchorage International Airport today, and upwards of 50 to 60 miles an hour upper hillside Anchorage up into the Chugach Mountains there. But south flow keeps the precipitation in the form of rain for the North Gulf Coast, showers for the Panhandle, light snow or snow showers, but light winds all the way up across the North Slope and the Arctic coast there. Lighter snowfall amounts north of the Brooks Range, heaviest snowfall amounts to the south and into the central interior. And then a big change on Friday, much colder air here coming into the interior areas all the way down to Bristol Bay. Kodiak Island drying out with some clearing, snow showers lingering over south central Alaska, east of the Alaska Range up into the interior areas of light snow, northern Yukon, upper Yukon Valley areas to the eastern Arctic coast. This system developing and spreading warm air and rain into the panhandle, but wind's not much of a factor with that system. And snow showers out over the Bering Sea, extending over down to the Aleutians, mostly widely scattered, isolated snow showers there. Generally dry, though, for the Alaska Peninsula, all the way up to the western Arctic coast. And for lows tonight, single numbers for the North Slope and Arctic coast into the Brooks Range, otherwise teens and 20s here in the central interior, in the 20s across southern Alaska, lower 30s for the Kenai Peninsula here to near 40 toward Homer. Upper 20s for the Pribilof Islands as those north winds continue to pull that cold air southward, but staying in the lower to mid 30s for the eastern central Aleutian areas. And for the southeast coast, lows tonight 30s to lower 40s. Highs tomorrow in the 40s for the panhandle there. Near 40, Kodiak, Seldovia, Homer, and mid to upper 30s, south central Alaska. Lower 30s as you get west of the Alaska Range in the colder air, and 20s for the highs here out toward the southwest coast, near freezing for the Pribilofs, and in the 30s for the Aleutians, lower 20s St. Lawrence Island, teens for the North Slope and Arctic coast, followed by lows 5 to 15 now in the interior, single numbers for the Kuskokwim Valley, and 5 below to 5 above for the North Slope, Brooks Range, and 5 to 15 for the Arctic coast, lows upper 30s to mid 40s for the Panhandle, lower 20s Kodiak Island, highs staying below freezing for Kodiak, and in the 20s south central Alaska, as well as the Copper River Basin and the Panhandle back into the 40s. Otherwise, teens for the interior and 5 to 15 for the highs for the Brooks Range, 30s out here for the Bering Sea and the Pribilof Islands.